Yes, I'm in it. I
Excellent.
have it up on my work
There
computer.
you are. You just did it. Okay. Have you ever
Okay.
used Google Docs before?
I have. I use it at work all the time. So
Excellent. Glad to know
I
it.
do Excel, not Word, but
No
yeah.
idea what any of that means. So I'm the worst. Understand that you have one of me to deal with, and I've got hundreds of clients. So that's why I'm such a stickler for, if something's out of place, I notice it right away. For you, it's going to kind of be like, oh, whatever. But all the fine print that's in the document, I wrote it. It's not fine print, fine print. So usually, if there's a question about something, I've updated it and changed it. Uh, Name, date, I appreciate that. I do look at the document during the week or on off-call days when you and I are not making calls to look for updates and things. So that's important. First one you have here is in beautiful St. Louis. Party like it's 97. I like that. See, you're doing it right. It's good.
I have a couple of brain cells. I watched all the videos. Some of those were
Oh
painful.
boy.
So
Yeah. So, well, me making fun of people is why people get motivated to do it right. It says new, and then that's important because every morning I search the word new in all of my documents, and that way I can search the address and the realtor contacts and see if I've ever connected with them. So I've done that. When we work together is when we change that from new to today's date. And this might end up having a myriad of dates here. So at a glance, we can say, oh boy, lots going on here. Landlord's
for
name is
sure.
Tony, we hope. Found the number on the glass of other properties he owns a few miles away. Same mailing address. Okay, so I trust you. You feel like this is the same guy and he owns the properties. I'm not going to go into all the ways you might be wrong. I hope you're right. I really do. Maybe he
Yep.
sold this building and still has the other building. Who knows? I'm not a glasses half empty guy. You're
Yeah.
giving me when he bought the building, what he paid for the building. I don't need all of that. Some of the stuff that I don't need, you can put in your own, separate document, etc. What I want are details about the store itself. None of this really ever comes into play unless we're trying to buy a building or something like that. If it's something really big, I want you to scream and yell and say, hey, this is really important. Something about the landlord or his previous ownership of the laundromat or another building or whatever. If you feel like it's important, I'll either shoot you down or I'll say, oh, that's a good tidbit. I'm glad you brought it up. Like he sits on the board. Great. Lovely. He owns 20 plus properties. Beautiful. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really change
I
the
thought
way.
that just might speak to his personality that he could maybe appreciate trying to like
Yeah.
polish up the place a little bit,
Yeah, of course. But I treat everybody with the same disdain. So it's not like I'm not going to care. You're saying that this first store you actually left with your items dirtier. Okay, I got it. Picture's worth 1,000 words. So they've got the typical gated off secondary area, top loaders.
Yeah, that goes into like the little dry cleaning storefront where you can, which I thought that would be a good, like a nice little spot for, wash, dry, fold contract attendant to have their little office.
There you go. Yeah. Nice toilet. I wouldn't, yeah, not good.
I wouldn't let my dog shit on that. Seriously.
You said it. I didn't. I'm putting a note at the top, by the way. Once a year, my kid and I go to a world shoot, and we are representing the United States in the Czech Republic. We're wheels up tomorrow, in fact, for the PCC, Pistol Caliber Carbine World Shoot. I put a link to her Instagram. That's probably the best way to kind of follow along if you are so inclined. Totally up to you.
I'm already a follower.
Oh, goodness. Look at that. All right. Well, I'm always in the background being dad. All right.
I hear you.
We have a number for Tony, and we are
cigars.
Exactly right. We have a number for Tony, and we are hoping that it is good. This is simple stuff. My notes are always the same. If we don't get anybody on the phone, I'll show you what we write. If he does jump on, great. Just type what he says in like bullet point fashion. Make sure that you write it in the document for me and just, you're not going to
You
step.
want that right here though, right? Where you
No,
already
right
wrote
where I'm
5/13.
typing now. This is our history dates, and those are just dates. And then down here, it's casual. I just put the date right below the number, and then I put Danny dialed because it's what
Okay.
is happening. And the arrow indicates the number above, and then I go further to put the last 4.
Okay.
All right. Without further ado, I'm dialing the guy's number. You can mute your phone if there's going to be any explosions or dogs barking or anything like that. Here we
Will
go. Stand
do.
by.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Tony, my name's Danny. I'm interested in leasing some space from you. Wanted to
Leasing what? I'm sorry.
leasing space. Wanted to become a tenant here in St. Louis.
Okay.
It's commercial space. There's actually a laundromat here, among other things.
Oh, so okay. So 30, 34, 30.
Yeah, I'll explain. We'll smell what I'm cooking here. I'm in the laundry business, Tony. That's what I do. I've been doing laundries
Okay.
for, I don't know, 20, 21 years. My partner and I
Okay.
are always looking
Gotcha.
for stores. We want to build out our empire, do more. I currently do 36 locations. And the way I do it is this. We
Okay.
go out and we scout the locations. We walk the stores, right? They're open to the public. When we see a perfect, beautiful, bright, shiny laundromat and the employees are on roller skates, we might take notes, but we're not going to try to reach the landlord. When we see a store like this that is frankly underperforming, older equipment, et cetera, I'm not here to step on anybody's toes or hurt anyone's feelings, but I want to reach out to you and find out if Tony has any availability, maybe next week, next year, maybe now. I don't know. I'm not asking about your rent rolls. I'm being crystal clear and careful.
Are you interested in the property as the buy, or you're interested in to be a tenant at that location?
Great question. I'm interested in leasing because for me, currently, this is a cash flow play. I have plenty of commercial properties. I'm not looking to buy any right now. If you have a great tenant here, if you love the guy, or gal, whatever, if you're happy with them, if they pay the rent on time, God bless America. I wouldn't change a thing if I were you.
He pays the rent on time. He's
Good.
just, like I said, the place needs to be cleaned up, and it's just old equipment and so forth. So
Right. And that's fine. If it's a, I don't know, a pizzeria and they make great pizza, but the bathroom's a mess, that's a different story. You got the health department. In this case, it's a laundromat, and they're left in this decrepit shape many times, and they can continue this way for years. Let me talk about what we do. We come in, we sign a reasonable and commensurate rate of rent. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on washers and dryers. But I'm not buying the business. I'm not building the business. I'm not spending the money on gas, water, electric. It should make perfect sense. So call this an introduction. Now, Tony knows Danny. We know my interest. And I sort of elevate the centers, to be honest. My partner and I end up spending the money, and you've got more folks in the parking lot, sometimes to a fault, actually, on weekends when they're packed. But that's what we want.
Are you involved with the young kid that's got about 20 locations? Do you know who that is?
If I heard his name, I would know. But by
He's
being,
got he's got the old McDonald's at Gravois and Hampton.
oh God.
Do you know that?
Well,
You know that place?
I have 36 locations. So when you say, am I involved? I don't really go to the coin laundry meetings. I don't, it's.
No. Are you a part of is that you? Or in other words, are you his father? Are you somebody?
No.
He's got a bunch of places. And
I don't
he's
have any
approached me
sons.
a couple times. Okay.
No.
Well, but I do know he owns that one spot, and that's why I gave you that address. That
separate entities. He being
Gotcha.
He being your tenant, or no? He's not your tenant.
No.
Okay.
He called me a few months ago.
Gotcha. Because he's trying to do the same thing.
But yes.
Well, I will have to kill him. You're
I
supposed to,
mean,
you're supposed to laugh
here
at that,
you
Tony.
went
That's just a joke.
you went in there, you seen it. If you want to shoot me an offer that you would pay rent and give me a proposal on how you'd clean it up, I'll listen.
Oh, I can do that. The one thing I would take umbrage with, I'm not going to propose rent. I would have to know what is your, what's your rate? What are you asking here? And is this something are they month to month on you?
He's basically a long-term tenant that I just kind of let float for a long time because I've been
Yeah.
dealing with his parents for many years. He's been there for 20-something years, and he's just like the second generation. And
Okay. So kind of a straw purchase where they say, let the kid run it.
Yeah.
I
But
understand.
I've told the kid he needs to spend some money to make money, and he just, he don't want to do that.
Sure. And listen, I like your style. I appreciate I assume this is your building. You own it. You don't work for the landlord.
Yes.
And in that
No.
case, you and I can bullshit. We can talk to each other direct. My proposal is I'm going to spend what it takes to put brand new washers and dryers in here. And I will put that in writing. I'll send you a letter of intent tomorrow. But my question is, what is your asking rate? On a 15-year term, what would your ask be?
Yeah, I'd probably, you'd pay the water, you'd pay the sewer.
Of course.
As opposed to that's how it is. It would probably be somewhere in the mid to upper threes.
Now, that could be a phenomenal rate or a terrible rate depending on the square footage. So do you know how big the spot is? I could measure it.
I think it is because he's got the middle part too. So he's got the dry cleaning drop off spot and he's got the laundry. So he's got both. But obviously no dry cleaning on there, but he's got that center spot. So if I had to guess, I would say he's probably has somewhere give or take around 3,200 square foot.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need to take a closer look. I wasn't aware that there was some type of drop off location.
Yeah, the middle, like in the middle of between Huck's and the dry cleaner.
Oh, where
that's
he's got a steel gate there. Right. Well, I don't know if you've been inside. Yeah, there is. There's a steel.
Oh, inside, like he's got a dog in there or something. Yeah.
Well, I think it's to keep humans out, not to keep a dog in. I'm not sure.
Right.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want that space. What I want, laundromat space. So gas, water, electric, washers, dryers, folding. That's my interest. You can have that spot back. We can wall that off. Obviously, anything can be done. I assume it has an exit point to the street, and you can lease that to an optometrist or somebody that can pay you more rent happily.
Right.
But again, I don't want to pay for what is.
It's not I mean, so you don't do any drop off service, or you don't mess with dry cleaning.
No, we do, but I don't need the space because we do all of that within the laundromat space. We do that overnight. Yeah, in the laundry space. I'm trying to maximize my dollar as much as I can, and I'll tell you this: we're very close on the rent, considering. But when we omit that spot, we're going to be even closer. So let me do this. I'm going to put together an LOI. Can you, on paper somewhere in your office, figure out what the actual laundromat square footage is? Or I can go back there and measure it myself. Nobody's going to notice me doing it.
Yeah, I'd probably have to measure. I mean, I could give you the square foot on the whole building, but I don't. Without me going there and measuring it, I wouldn't know either.
Okay. Let me figure out what it is.
100 buildings in the city, so I mean, I don't even know.
Look at you. Let me figure out what it is, make a reasonable offer, give us probably 48 hours to put together a proper letter of intent. Two more questions. On a 15-year term, what kind of abatement can you offer me?
I tell you what, I have to think about it. I rent all kinds of commercial spaces, but I don't have. I mean, to be truthful, this is my only laundromat I actually rent to. I don't have any laundromats. I mean, I have repair shops and auto replace places, and I have hair salons and Yeah, I have restaurants, tons and tons of restaurants.
Well, let me pick on those
So,
particular types of businesses for a second. You know, a restaurant, if you've got great recipes, you're going to do well, which is, I think it's like 10%. But you've got an auto shop or a salon, those are heavy on employees. Laundromats, you know what it is? It's equipment, and it's very
sure.
costly. I don't want to talk you out of having a laundromat because I don't want to see this infrastructure go away. I want to take it over.
Right.
And at a zero cost sum, sadly, they never retooled it. They never spent the money. What I will do, I'll put in the LOI what is reasonable and what makes sense for us. And look, you're paisan, right? D'Angelo, we'll get along. We'll bullshit back and forth, and we'll see if we can make a deal. If not, we'll part friends. What's your email address? What's your best email? I got it the first time. All right, let me send you an email. I will CC my partner. And well, you know what? Like I said, I'll put the LOI together, but we need to go sneak back there. I can measure the space from the outside, and this guy, we don't close our doors. We end up 24 hours. We end up elevating your center. You won't need any police to come out because we basically become the police of the center. One good customer is better than a cop. You know, they're going to watch out for the place.
Sure.
All right, Tony, let me give me a couple days. I'll send you an LOI.
Thank you.
Cheers. Get your questions out. Don't forget to subscribe, you louts. That was her first ever call. Keep me company with your questions, people.
Hey, I'm 1 for 1.
Yeah, no shit. One phone call, one LOI.
I'll take it.
Quit while you're, I can hear you smiling. So annoying.
I knew this was going to be a good one. I just had a good feeling.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's got a good feeling. I am the glass is half empty, fell off the table and broken 1,000 pieces guy. So, you know, I have to do that. I'm not on here. Oh, you know what, Lindsay, that happens every call we make. It's just the way that it is. I'm just being realistic.
No way.
You know,
You tempered my expectations with the content you sent me.
Look at you
well,
using
so.
my words against me. Well, good. I'm glad. And here's the thing. Famously, I want to ask you, what do you think? I know what I think. So what do you think?
I think it's got good potential. I think the rent being, just from what I've seen in other laundromats that I've actually seen for sale, which is, you know, one of the signs of failure. The rent, I know $1 a square foot is great in your book, but I think that's high.
No, that's reasonable. And his ask is about that. But what we're going to do, before I forget, you're going to go back there and you're going to measure the square footage. That's easy to do. Take a tape measure, measure the glass from this guy's. Is this a corner suite? The laundry?
So there's only 2. It's a convenience store in like 1/3 of it, and then that.
Okay,
that
convenience store, laundromat space, and then drop-off space within the laundry with the gate. We don't want the space with the gate. You don't want it. You don't want to pay for it. So measure from glass to glass of the laundry. You know what I mean? In the front. Okay?
Yep. And this laundromat space too is kind of like an L shape, and meaning that the cleaner section that you see doesn't go the entire depth. You can kind of see it in some of the pictures.
Okay. But listen. You only have half the equation. Measure from glass to glass, and then you need to get the front to back measurement. So if it's an L shape, the shortest version, does that make sense? Stop me if you understand how to get square footage, and then I don't have to explain.
No, I do. What I'm saying is that that office doesn't go all the way back to the back of the building.
Okay, so then you need to figure out what the length of the laundromat actually is.
Yep, I'll do it. I can actually just probably count the ceiling tiles too. So
Well, those aren't going to be a foot. They're going to be 4 by 2.
yep. So
Or you could Google how to figure out square footage, but glass to glass, side of the building, front to back, if it's the same parameter as the laundry. All right, so yes, you are getting a letter of intent and it's all laid out for you. It's all very simple. What I think about what's funny is this guy can't help himself. He says, yeah, I got 100 properties, just like you told me. And
yep.
you didn't have to tell me, just like I said in the beginning. I don't need to know all that information. It's kind of funny because they'll come out and tell you what you need to know or what they think they want you to. But he's cutting his own throat because he says, oh, I can't give you a better rate for a laundromat because I don't understand how laundromats work. So even though he's got 1 million properties, his hands are tied when it comes to what laundromats should be collecting and what we should be paying. Isn't that funny? Like he should have, if I didn't know anything about him, he shouldn't have said he had any more than this one. Oh, this is my only building. I wish I could get it full up. So
Yeah.
letting him
I'm seeing
tell
dollar
us.
signs. I'm like, I hope you got some TI money since you got all those buildings
Well,
and all those people paying for it.
When I asked what abatement I could expect, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, which is what? Like they've never heard of abatement? Or, oh, I don't give any, or the third option is 3 months. Like they just snap up. 3 months is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it. What do you mean by abatement? Free rent? No, I don't do that. Or 3 months. So you'll write it for 12, but we need the square footage so we could write it for $12 a square foot for only the laundry space and be done with it. But I'd rather show him that we actually know what the hell we're talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Of course it does. Weren't you going to buy a laundromat?
No, I'm a woman and I just had to F around and find out. I thought I could do this myself, but I suck.
What do you
at it,
mean you're a
so.
woman? What does that have to do with anything?
Can't nobody tell me anything. Nobody can tell me nothing. I got to find out for myself.
So
I'm
what
from
did
the
you
Show Me
do?
State, Missouri. So I actually signed a laundromat lease, actually, and it was it was an okay lease, but it ended up that the landlord lied about the square footage of the space, and so I caught him on that, and he was like, fine, tear up the lease. I said, you basically are charging me for 300 square feet that doesn't exist. And
But why
he was
wouldn't he
like,
at that point just say, oh, I apologize. I'm going off of figures from boilerplate leases from decades ago. We'll just scratch that
yeah,
300 feet. That's what he should have said.
exactly. And he was like, tear up the lease. Well, I had already had that kind of gut feeling like, oh man, it's just okay.
So
Why be okay?
that's
It's just
Shakespearean,
okay whenever I can get it.
methinks thou doth protest too much. He just all of a sudden, tear it up then. Because, okay, I'd
Yeah,
rather.
and I was like, okay, great.
All right, wait a minute. So back up. So you found this store in what disposition? Where's the current operator?
It is a vacant laundromat.
No
space.
equipment?
No equipment, but all the infrastructure is there. I had texted you about it. You were like, it looks good. It looks like everything's there.
Okay.
And it was there, but after learning a little bit more, it's a home style store. It was going to need.
Oh,
some
no.
pretty decent
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
not good.
that's why I was like,
Now, okay, so now I get it. You saw a course, you called a landlord and got very, very excited because you were able to actually start communicating with someone. And then you had what was the rate of rent?
It was supposed to be a 2,500 square foot space, $3,000 gross.
Okay. Oh, that's excellent. And
9 months of abatement.
9 months free. Okay. How much did you ask for?
I asked for 12 and he was like, oh, I can't do 12. And then when I again, down the road, learned that I should have instantly said, fine, if you're not going to offer TI money, then I'm going to want 18. Like, I should have known that. But again, rubish of me, you know, self-admittedly. So
Well, you
that's what it is.
you might guess. Try not to be an idiot, right? You know, you might guess that this is on YouTube. And trust me,
Yeah.
98.7% of what I do to some degree is most certainly not recorded, not on YouTube, not any of that stuff. So this is your first ever call. And yes, we're all going to say tisk, tisk, shame on you.
I know.
You should. But look, you the only thing you really did was learn a valuable lesson, I think. And
For sure.
I take offense to it being a woman thing. It's got nothing to do with that. Maybe some men might look at you in some inferior way and think, oh, I can run roughshod over her, if that's what you mean.
I think landlords definitely feel that way. Like this was, you know, not to say anything about anything, but this was, you know, a different cultural aspect landlord.
Oh
Very,
my
he just had
God. Now
zero
I'm
respect.
scrolling down and I see that you've put the same store in front of me. Is that what I'm seeing?
No,
Oh,
nope, this is a different one.
before hiring Danny, Lindsay spoke to
Oh,
the
yeah.
agent property management once about the space. Okay. How many of these am I going to be trapped into here now?
No. So there were, again, numbers game, right? So I talked to 4 locations total. One of them was literally nothing, like nothing ever came of it. One was the one I ended up signing a lease with, and then 2 other people I spoke to but have not gone anywhere. So basically there's 2 other prospects, this being one of them.
You
that I've spoken
signed the
to
lease
before.
and now that lease is torn up.
Yes, we already have fully executed termination of that lease. My quote unquote
Now,
deposit. First month's
I
rent
want to
is
see.
returned.
I want to see if you actually learned anything. Do you think it would have
Okay.
hurt your chances if you would have called the gentleman I just spoke with?
Yes.
Okay, so your call didn't go in that same way.
You mean for this second store that's on
The
this
call
paper
that I
trail?
just made.
What was the question? Sorry,
Your,
do I think I should have?
I'm filling your mouth with words. I'm saying your call didn't exactly go the way mine did.
No.
Okay.
No.
Enough.
And
I'm
it's
not.
because I can't.
I'm not here to pick on you or to get you to say certain things, so that's fine.
No, I mean, ultimately, I realize that there is value in you physically being able to tell someone I have 36 stores. Like, there is a lot of weight behind that I will never be able to have. And I'm like, even if I only do this on my first store and I do it from here, like that in itself is more than worth what I'm going to pay.
And I
for
think
your service.
I will take away from that. I could get away with everything that I do without ever giving anyone a number. I've done it where my hands are tied in certain ways with certain clients and I don't say it. But you come across in such a way like, this is what we do. This is what we do with the parking lot. This is what we do with our security and surveillance cameras. This is how we deal with the police. And they know, you know, they understand. And that's a big fear. I'm just, you know, I'm not here to disagree with everything you say. I'm just saying that that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is knowing that you know more than they do, not about leases or buildings,
sure.
but certainly laundromats. All right,
Well,
without
and I'll tell you
further
this too.
without
I was
further
gonna say,
ado,
I'm a person of written word. I cannot do the thing that you do, which is the spoken word and having that response right on the tip of my tongue. I
thank
suck
you.
at that, and that's okay.
That's a
So
rare thing, especially when you get choked up and concerned and nervous and you give a shit. I never did. Not about you. It's about that's negotiating. If you go into something knowing 100%, oh, I don't care what happens to this deal, you'll do better. And it's not that you don't care, it's that you have the attitude where, well, you know what I mean? If I hold all the cards, as they say, there's so many different analogies. The truth is, that's how you must maintain any negotiation. If you really want a thing, you shouldn't be negotiating for it. Period.
well, and do you want to hear something really funny, just super quick? So that landlord that was like, tear up the lease, we're terminating, blah blah blah. He actually called me 2 days ago and told me to call him back. But that is not a store I'm gonna put in front of you. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. All right. I'm already put Jeff in my phone, so let's call this guy up.
Okay.
Stand by.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Jeff, my name is Danny. I'm calling on some commercial space for lease. Interested in giving you a rent check. Dial me back. My cell. You can call me direct or send me a text day or night. Thank you. All right, now you're 50-50, so you can put your mitt away. Your
boy.
call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. These are my acronyms. Left message to call back.
I was gonna say that's a heck of an acronym there.
Yeah, left message to call back. Okay, numbers saved in my phone, both of them. I'm going to email you the letter of intent. I believe I already,
I do have it.
at the top of your document, I put some dates and links so that you can follow along as we represent the United States. Very exciting with our USA jerseys in the Czech Republic. I think there's 78 of us coming from the US. There'll be about 800 shooters. Lots of fun.
So exciting. My husband and I we went to shot sporting clays on Sunday, so it was a good time.
That's right. That's right. Good. Understood. We shoot clays in 3-gun competition all the time. That's about as close as we get up, except for our property. We're going to put a whole sporting clay arena up there. All right, good. You got your marching orders. I'll send you an email with the blank LOI here in 2 seconds.
Okay, and then are you sending him your canned email too?
No, I'm not going to send that because we're going to lead with the LOI.
Okay, got it.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.
Thanks. You people, it's your turn now. Hello, everyone. It has been a day. That makes LOI 7. 7 LOIs today. And that, don't be jealous for those of you working with me because it's call number 1. And here's a lesson to be learned, right? Lindsay says, oh, I can call these landlords. I can do what you do. I'm fine with it. And she ended up in a trap. I don't think it's because she's a woman. I don't feel that everyone needs me to do this. But if there's an inkling in the back of your mind, gee willikers, I don't think, well, I wouldn't say that. I can't get away with this. I can't do this. It's not about paying me a few dollars. It's utterly preposterous to try to do something on your own. I got an email from someone today. Let's see if he got the course. Danny Spear. Danny and I are going to talk. He got the consultation. He snapped the button in the course. Hello, Daniel. All right, no, he didn't. So here's the story I'm telling. It's insane to me. Crazy to me. Hold on. It'll make sense. Watch the videos. Email out of nowhere at 10 a.m. my time. I'm working on opening my first laundromat in blank, blank being the city, and currently have a promising lease on the table. Although I haven't signed anything yet, as a first-time operator, I'd really appreciate some experienced insight before moving forward. I'd be happy to pay a consultation fee for your time and advice. If you're available for a quick call or meeting, Please let me know what works best for you. Best, blah, 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 and his cell phone. I emailed him back and I said, what's the scandal, Randall? And he said, I'm going to be building a laundromat from scratch. I said, please, for the love of fuck and your family, fucking please don't do that. Don't build a laundromat. This is a big city. Doesn't matter where. Why would you do that when you just saw me do 3 calls where landlords said, oh yeah, take this $400,000 worth of infrastructure for free. But this guy doesn't know that. Maybe he's watching right now. Nigel comes in the office and tells me, I just talked to this gentleman who says that he emailed you. And I said, did I email him? Yeah, you emailed him back. He hasn't seen my silly course, okay? So he's about to sign a lease and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building a laundromat. He himself admits, I haven't signed anything yet, but as a first-time operator, I'd really appreciate. He called the office, he called the toll-free number and spoke to Nigel. You know what he said? I just want a few minutes of Danny's time. That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm a realist, ladies and gentlemen. There is no method for me to give this guy a few minutes of my time. He has a million questions if he's got a half a brain, a million questions, starting with, should I build a laundromat from scratch? Try not to be an idiot. The answer is no. There's that word again. Imagine you're me. Now I have to steer this poor bastard and say, go get the course, please. Please just get the course. And it seems like I'm trying to sell him something. Am I? No. No. I'm saying, fill your head with the knowledge. You're about 4 hours away from owning all of that knowledge, not about the money. But if he's unwilling to do that and he says, pshaw, you, I'm not going to do that. I know better. And off he goes. Do you think he's going to write on a sticky note, I'm going to call Danny D'Angelo in 5 years and tell him how everything went? No. And I'm looking right now. He didn't pick up the course because he thinks I'm trying to get my hand in his pocket. It's heartbreaking to me because all the information is there. He should just go on to my YouTube channel and type out buy or build. Let's get to your questions real quick there, kids. Hi, Danny. It's Julius. Bought your course, listening to your landlord calls, and been scouting. Well, thank you for the update. I'm in New York. Even better. Fellow Brooklynite. Marta, nicely done, Danny. Hello, Marta. Danny, good to see you. Nice to see you. My God, everyone's being so cordial. Hey, Danny, it's Tommy from Connecticut. How you doing? How you feeling? You look good. You know what? I feel fine. I try to explain to people. You watch the movies and you know a lot of it's not real, right? A guy tosses a grenade, somebody else dives on it. This happens, that happens. In reality, trauma, at least for me, it's not painful. It doesn't result in tears. The pins are still in the thumb. It's going to be a while. But then again, it's nice to be able to sleep without the hand in the thing and all that kind of stuff. But rarely am I at a loss for words, but none of this hurts. Let's just put it that way. It doesn't hurt. It's not painful. 134 subcutaneous stitches. I won't give you the close-up on that one. Starts here. You can see the edge of it. Matt, I've heard you talk about laundromats being on the ends of strip malls due to the wet lint traps from the landlords. Is it an issue if the laundromat is more towards the center? No, as long as it is where the water terminates and goes to the city side, because that's where the wet lint trap. It's been done. It's just rare. It's easier to put them on the end. And that's why they normally are on the end of a strip mall or freestanding. Vanessa wants to let us know she's from Dallas, Georgia. Hello, not Texas. What's a home style store? Great question. Back in the 70s, they used to build these laundries, and their thought was, we want to compartmentalize the customers. We don't want them to go over here to wash, over here to dry, and over here to fold. Not a good idea. So every row would have a row of top-load washers, dryers or tumblers on the end, and folding on this end. It's a cluster. That's what it is. And reverting a home style store back to normal, I've done it. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. We already have this name. Julius. Julius is leveraging Danny's experience. Yes. I wonder where that road goes. Hey, Danny, Brian in San Diego. Look at you guys following lockstep into the rules, telling me where you're from and who your names bees. Jack, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and I love watching your videos because you're a master at cold calls. When I'm cold calling homeowners, do you think I should take the same approach? No, don't do what I do, Jack. I don't know what you're trying to get done, but probably not. I am a jackhole to people. No, it's not about cold calling. It's about sales. It's about getting what you want. It's about giving others what they need, I think. In some other form of life, I could have been a counselor or the guy that shows up because Mitch and Murray sent me down from downtown with the good leads. Either way, I ended up with a string of laundromats and ended up doing this. But I appreciate the compliment from someone like you. Cold calling for money, not good. We're trying to give these people what they need, and getting them to pick up the phone is half the battle. We leave tomorrow for the Czech Republic. Sammy says, good to see you. Look like you're healing very quickly. Yes, I heal like Wolverine. We all know it. He has excited, and he can be that way, plus a vet, which is awesome, and thank you for your service. Love the content. Okay, hard to understand what some of that means, but thank you for your cervix. All right, well, listen up. Those of you watching this, you guys remember the nurse, Rebecca? I think she knows that we're on here right now. I really do.
Hello?
Try not to be an idiot. Now you know, now you know we're on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
What do you
Good
want?
text. All I texted was just your invoice for another lease negotiation.
You want
That's it.
another
Easy.
invoice. You want more of the medicine.
That's right.
Well, okay, I'll happily do that. I'm more excited about what's going on with the current store.
Oh, nothing to report. I don't have to report.
Getting it done, getting it all
Yes,
fixed, getting all the equipment
yes,
done.
I need
Good.
a water heater and to be missing, you know, the typical things.
Don't put a don't try to put a residential water heater in there. You need a boiler.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what you said.
Yes. Good. Good.
That's what
All
you
right.
told
And
me.
don't be afraid to text me when you have questions.
I never have been and never will be.
I believe you. All right. Good. Well, I thought you'd be all excited on my live, and you're just kind of like sleepy.
I'm so sorry. I you on a live. I just happened to text you.
Well, you're one of the live people that everybody's sort of following along with. You saw I blew myself up. More trauma.
What?
Oh my God, you have been busy.
I've been. What happened?
Hold on. I'm gonna text you.
Some wounds?
I'm gonna text you a video.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I want you to see it and look at it while we're on the phone somehow. But be prepared. I don't know if it's even possible for you to look at it. I think it will be. This will be good.
Is it very graphic?
You're a nurse, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Is it very graphic? There's my
Feeling big
hand.
lacerations.
I've got 4 pins in my hand. There's my wife. That's just boobs there
It
mostly.
looks like she's doing. It looks like she's doing wound care in the first picture. Is she trying to?
Oh no,
or
no, she's just
something?
in the hospital. This is when I met Jesus right here.
Why- Why'd you send me a picture of you and your wife?
I don't know, because I'm funny.
You know, look at that photo.
There's my head. I drove myself 2 hours to the hospital, by the way. After this happened, all right, watch it. Respond.
Yourself up or something.
It's a grenade launcher.
Oh, God.
Press the button.
Oh my God. Did you
N-
post this?
Not really. Did I post it?
You post this
I-
video publicly for
I
your
show it. I
people to
show it.
see.
It was on my live the other day that you didn't watch.
Oh my gosh. No, I did not. Oh my goodness.
I love to
You are
post
lucky
it.
to be alive.
I'm aware. That's happened a lot, though, where I'm lucky to be
You're like
alive.
a cat. You're like a cat.
Shelly screaming, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And then I say, "Relax, evaluate." I'm trying to get her to evaluate my wounds. Not pretty, because she was worse off than the poodle.
Oh my gosh.
What, you can't handle trauma? Come on. Well, you're not a trauma nurse.
I'm not a trauma nurse. I see like bed sores and yucky wounds like that. I
Ugh,
don't
that's
see-
gross.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I'm used to it though.
All right, I'm glad
You are
you're.
a lucky gentleman.
I know. Well, look, there's a lot of luck involved. The fact that I had professional eye and ear protection on, we know that the eye socket is the window to the brain, a very small piece of shrapnel. I would have been like dead instantly. But it's 2 hours from the hospital. I drove myself to the hospital. The long form video is coming soon.
Wow.
And to me,
Oh, so
Trump.
you were on your property.
Yeah. And to me, and we called ahead, and I was like, compound fracture to the right thumb, full thickness laceration, about 6 inches on the right cheek, a slight concussion. And I'm going through this list, and the girl's like, "Okay, where's the patient?" And I'm like, I am.
It's me.
She says, "What?" "Yeah, it's me." And she's like, how are you getting here?" "I'm driving." "You're driving?" "Yeah." So when I got there, is all this hero status. Like, that's the guy that blew himself up. And he drove here 2 hours. They were lining
And he's
up.
concussed.
And I was slightly concussed. All right, I'll send you a thing. I appreciate you very much. I'm excited to be back at it with you. The live from the other day, you can't miss the thumbnail. It's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Thanks,
Let's
kid.
Roll back. All right, bye.
Goodbye. I thought, so there's somebody who hadn't seen it. Oh, boy. The Cuban laundry guy, he wants the course in Spanish. Got you. Got you. When reaching out to landlords and you don't get them, how do you approach other tenants within the same space? How do you navigate the conversation without giving away your true intentions? In any way. You just don't tell them that you're interested in the laundromat at all. You can say whatever it is. Do you look like a professional idiot like me? Then say something idiotic. If you look like a doctor, tell them you're looking for space for your next doctor's office. If you look like an accountant, tell them you're with H&R Block. I don't know. Am I saying you have to lie? No, these are little fibs. You could come right out and say, hey, I'm interested in renting space here. Who's your landlord? You have to be careful because A, that might be the landlord you're talking to, and B, the next question is normally what kind of business are you in? And you can't say Laundromats because the guy running the pizza shop might be the laundromat operator, and then you're in trouble. Lindsay, dirty diaper in the parking lot. That's right. There's that word again. All right, kids, I appreciate you. Look, the inside joke today is your own joke. So the second I end this stream, go over there and make a joke. And if you haven't seen the course yet, get it for you. Don't get it for me. I don't want your couple dollars. I want you to have the knowledge before you go make a mistake, just like my client ripping up the lease. Comment. If you've seen the course, let's get on a consult call.